Recording started.
Hello.
Thank you,
Hello.
Manish. Hello. A very good morning to one and all.
Thank you.
Today's topic would be on rehabilitative aspects of cancer and how yoga, what's the perspective of yoga on cancer. So there would be a little of Ayurveda approach also that you would be knowing, and then more of yogic approach in this lecture. I will start with a small prayer. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि गीते भवद्वेषिणी. Thank you, one and all. So, cancer. We take the term cancer as Karka Rogaha. Karka. We call it as Karka in Ayurveda and also in Yoga. Basically, what modern medical science speaks about cancer. They have very many causes for cancer and they do not have also. So it has become an idiopathic syndrome because they couldn't pinpoint one or two causes for that particular disorder. Hence, the management of the disease is also a little weak. Although radiation therapies and the other electromagnetic therapies, radiations, which are provided by the allopathic medical sciences, are the only therapeutic modality. In the recent years, in the coming years, people have understood not only the radiations could help, but more of rehabilitation should help this cellular structure. The problem is in the cellular structure. Is there any new cells coming up in case of cancer? No. Each and every cell, we are told that even the cancer cells are there in the normal persons. Why so? Because these are perfectly natural and normal cells. But on certain conditions, on certain circumstances, it had turned haywire, so haywire that the normal functioning of the cell becomes abnormal. How is it done? Patanjali calls this as vitarka. What is vitarka? Vitarka is wrong knowledge. The cell inside understands toxins to be its nutrition and opens the door, become more toxic. And instead of eliminating all those bad storage, reservoir, morbid matter inside the cells, instead of this elimination, it keeps its stores back. So there's some wrong knowledge put up into these cellular structures. Vitarka. So Patanjali says, Vitarka badhane pratipaksha bhavanam. when there is any trouble because of vitarka, wrong knowledge, because each and every cell has this knowledge inside. You know, you are not that knowledgeable, we are not that knowledgeable, our cells are more knowledgeable and wiser than us. They know how to react, they know how to grow, they know how to destroy themselves. It's a specific wisdom that God had nurtured inside every cell. But somehow, at some point, this wisdom, this knowledge becomes falsified. Some misconception inside the cell. And why is this happening? I'll come to that part a little while later. What's the reason when the wisest of the wisest cell becomes, a fool and then gives in to the situations? Hmm? Now, coming back to Rishi Patanjali, he says, Vitarka bhadane pratipaksha bhavana. When there is wrong knowledge, what do you have to do? You have to prevail in the opposite situation. What is opposite of wrong knowledge? Right knowledge. What is right knowledge? To me, if you ask me, to my knowledge, the most right of all wisdoms, the most right of all knowledges that we can accrue is self-knowledge. When you recognize yourself, that is the right knowledge. Upanishads calls it as Paravidya. Why is it Paravidya? Paravidya means the ultimate knowledge. That knowledge which you could gain, through which you could gain all the other simple knowledges that is possible. All the physics, chemistry, geography, all those informations would be, you will be complete. That's why a seer, a rishi, a saint, in India, he does not know anything. He is living on the streets like beggar. He has no money, but still he can foresee many things. Hmm? He can help people. How is he doing this? Did he learn astronomy? Did he learn astrology? Did he learn physiology? How is he treating people? How is he helping people? It is because he is self-realized soul. And with that knowledge comes all. So that's what Rishi Patanjali says. Vitarka bhadane pratipaksha bhavana. When there is some wrong knowledge happening inside the cellular structure, the one ultimate solution is to take the um, help of Vedantic knowledge, or to take the help of a guru and understand your real self. Not getting identified with this petty body, not getting identified with it. Now, there are two sides of the coin. Cancer is such a dreadful disease and it involves lots of pains and aches. Now, when you understand that this is some wrong knowledge happening inside my body, and if I'm going to identify myself with the body, with the pain, with the aches, with the side effects of the radiation therapies, I'm going to be more troublesome, more miserable. Hmm? What happens? We actually teach kids. When the kid starts to play, jumping from hopping from one place to another, jumping from bed up and down like monkeys, and then suddenly he falls off. He strikes his head down, hmm, and it bleeds. Okay, so what do you say? Oh, nothing, nothing. Your head has become stronger. Beautiful. Oh, you have beautiful coloration, red painted on your head. Huh? The child stops crying and he himself feels that yes, I've become strong, and then the pain in his head is no more troubling him. It's a simple logic. When you have something troublesome happening in your body, don't get identified with those pains and troubles. This I can verily speak, because this is what I do whenever I have a headache, whenever I have a stomach ache. I even tell people, whenever you have some pain, just observe the pain. Keep observing, keep observing, keep observing. With the power of witness, The pain or the aches can, the intensity can come down. That will definitely happen. I'm not saying without radiation therapies, cancer can be cured, but even with radiation therapies, even with all those side effects, when you could detach yourself from the bodily troubles, you can help your body more. You can pull out the self from the wrong knowledge, from the vitarka, and give a direction towards the right knowledge, the sugyana, the right knowledge. Now, what about Ayurveda? What does Ayurveda speak about cancer? Ayurveda calls, Sushruta and Charaka calls cancer as Arbuda or Granthi. Granthi means knots. Arbuda is something inflammation oriented. Now, Sushruta also says, look, cancer can be inflammation oriented, but also can be non-inflammatory too. There can be tumors, there can be no tumors also. Now Shushruta gives a beautiful explanation which hardly we find in any modern medical science. He calls there are 6 layers in the skin, it seems. The 6th layer inside the skin, he calls it as Rohini. And inside that skin's layer, this pathogenic entry happens, and there is rupture of blood vessels, there is injury of muscular tissues, and then slowly we dealt about the three doshas in the previous class. Remember? Vata, Pitta, Kapha. There is derangement of these 3 doshas, it seems. And that's how cancer comes up. Now, why is this Rohini, the skin layer, getting disrupted? Why is there a pathogenic injury happening? He gives a list of causes for us. Again, these causes match with what modern medical science say. Lifestyle errors, like simple. The most blunderous mistake that we do is not sleeping properly in the night. We think we sleep for 4-5 hours in the night and then compensate with afternoon nap hours. That is not really possible. Why? Because that does not provide health to your system. So the most blunder mistake that we are doing is non, you know, uh, bad quality of night sleep, I should put it as. Okay. So the first and foremost lifestyle error. The second is unhealthy foods. It also says that when Ayurveda also says when you eat more of fatty and sweetened foods, kapha related foods, then the system can go haywire. There would be derangement of tridoshas, and there would be pathogenic injury entry inside that rohini, the skin layer, and that's how the muscular tissues are also disrupted. So unhealthy foods are the second reason that they give. The third is poor hygiene. Poor hygiene and sanitation. This is not quite, we think this is not quite common, but we think taking bath, brushing properly, and then good sanitation habits in defecation process, this is what hygiene means. But we forget there is some hygiene that we should keep inside the body. you know this body is a vessel. uh, there is this spout here, a spout here, opening here, opening ears, opening in the end, lower end. So it's a complete vessel. So how do you cleanse a bottle? Do you just cleanse it outside and then keep it away? No. You take up a brush, you put some soapy water inside, and then you try to shake the bottle well with a brush and then cleanse it, right? So remember, this body is also a vessel with all these openings. So with these openings, you actually inspire all the morbid matter along with the nice things. With eyes you have beautiful vision, with ears you have beautiful voice and music, but there are more of morbid matter also moving inside, remember. So this is also getting accumulated inside the system. So Ayurveda says you have to cleanse this. So we have in yoga many in also in Ayurveda, many techniques like Rechana techniques, where you regurgitate, you throw out, you drink lukewarm water, saline water, and you throw out. That's how you actually cleanse this gastrointestinal tract. And then the lower gastrointestinal tract is also cleansed. We again drink water, do some exercises. We drink around 6 to 8 liters of water, do some exercises, and then defecate. Until and unless the water that we drink comes out the same through the anus, we don't stop. So there are certain cleansing techniques also involved. So uh, poor hygiene, it also means cleansing the inner body, inner system, right? The next reason that he gives is bad habits. Sushruta says bad habits. It's just not smoking and drinking are considered as bad habits, but um, embedding an evil thought inside your system is also bad habits. Hmm? So, why is an evil thought embedded inside? Only when there is a dichotomy. I don't like Alina, so I have embedded a bad thought against, sorry, I'm sorry, Alina, it's just an example. So I don't like Alina, so I have embedded a small bad thought, evil thought. So I'm not going to see her. If at all I'm opportune to see her, I'm going to behave in such a manner. That's how I have already created a plan and embedded inside this mind. Now this is a small thought, you can say. What, madam? This is just a small thought. But Sushruta says this is a bad habit. Why? Because the thought, it doesn't stay as one. It's so beautiful. You can make a big story out of it. And it's not within months that it takes time to take a story, become a story. Within minutes, it becomes a story. So you have a fruit full of thoughts, complete flowering thoughts against Alina. So these thoughts become your habit, and habit becomes your character. Hmm? Abdul Kalam says the same thing. So what do you have to do? Vitarka bhadane pratipaksha bhavanam, seed in the opposite thought. I don't like Alina, seed in an opposite thought. Alina is so beautiful. How how excellently she carries herself. I should I should learn things from her. You know, why am I holding grudges against her? She is way better than me. Hmm? So, what have you done? Just by that very thought, again a new set of thoughts have come, new story had come. Huh? There is no evil thought penetrating and perpetuating inside the system. There are many cancer survivors amongst my relatives also. So I have known them, very near and dear from the beginning. So I know her, I know their characters, I know how they speak, how they behave. So I lot before the time when I was given this topic, I made an analysis, a logical metacognitive analysis. Why only these people in my family got cancer and why not others? Hmm? Like certain of my uncles, why not my aunt? So I try to study their character because I know them well. The one thing that I understood was the common mistake that they have in their emotional layer is non acceptance. When something has happened in your life, something bad had happened, something good had happened, you are not accepting it. Hmm? And then you are trying to fight it against. No, I can do this better. You know, no, I can prove myself better. And then trying hard against, putting so many efforts, but still, comes back to the same layer, same zone, non-acceptance. Hmm? So when this non-acceptance strikes you, remember that is the root of cancer. This might be a preventive modality, but once you have got the cancer, then I don't think so whether it can help much or so. But it's just a piece of advice. Try accepting the life as it comes. When you accept life as it comes, you will not have that evil thought inside. You will be happy enough. However, the life had presented you to be, you be there, like Ramana Maharshi. You be there, you just see, you enjoy there, without holding any kind of grudges. Without holding any kind of grudges. Perhaps that might be the most happiest state, but just because you are so over enthusiastic, you are not finding that happiness within. You want some more from it, you want some more out of it. So stop all those aggravations. Instead of beating the bush, just focus upon accepting the life. Accepting the life. So I didn't say much to my aunts, uncles, but I definitely spoke to my aunt, you know, of those cancer survivors. When I told them, uh, just speak to him, counsel him, and then tell him that let the life be just as it is and try to accept more. And it really helped. Um, it is not a treatment modality, but it will definitely change the outlook of the life. Now, coming back, there are two kinds of cancers, two kinds of tumors. One is benign and one is malignant. Sushruta says when there is a benign tumor inside, it is not that harmful. Why? Because this Vata, Pitta, Kapha, which I explained in the previous class, the nervous system, the venous system, and the arterial system inside your body actually fights with one each other and then mutually tries to bring in balance, because it is only one or more than one or two are fighting against. The third one will definitely come into place and then and bring in that adjustment. So hence benign tumors are not that harmful because there is still hope, because your vata pitta kapha is not deranged totally. But in case of malignant tumors, it is very, very harmful because all the three, you know, all the three systems mutually try to coordinate with one another, but they have failed. They couldn't bring in the balance, and hence they couldn't prevent any kind of tissue damage. The first and foremost thing happens is tissue damage in cancer. So they couldn't prevent tissue damage, and hence it turns it to be a deadly morbid condition. Should I have to stop here? Okay, I thought Manish too had come saying that Lalitha ji, please stop. Park yoga time. Now, Ayurvedic perspectives is very clear. It is only lifestyle error, bad food habits, evil thoughts, bad habits, and poor hygiene. Antaha and Bahya Shocha, inner and external purity. That's what you have to maintain. So if you're going to correct all those things, you can prevent manifestation of tumors. Now, coming back to yoga, before mentioning what the perspective of yoga is on cancer, I would love to tell you about something what Taittiriya Upanishad talks about. So I wanted to show the slide, so I took permission because um previously when we agreed to have this satsanga, Manish told me no slides. But at certain cost, I have to show slides because it is very difficult. When it is pictorial, it is very easy to understand. So you can see this beautiful body sitting in Padmasana. This is what we are. And then it is not just this body that we have. Upanishad says we have four other bodies. The first body that we see, that we can touch is this Annamaya Kosha. What is Anna? People translate as, food, but it is not food basically. Anna is translated as matter. The body that we see, that we feel, that is tangible is made of matter, right? So hence it is called Annamaya Kosha. The second white layer, can you see it? Yeah, that is in and around your body. It is not only around, it is also inside your body. Every layer is also around and inside. Okay. The second one is Pranamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kosha is the energy body, the vital sheath, the astral sheath that you have. Now people call it as aura, right? My aura doesn't match with yours. I can't work with you. Your frequency doesn't match with mine. That that's because of imbalances or the indifferences, between the pranamaya koshas of Alina and me, something like that. The third one, the red color. Oh, the danger symbol. The red layer is manomaya kosha. Manomaya kosha means the mental sheath, the mind. It is just the mind? No. There are four facets inside the mind. What are they? The first facet is mind itself, the complex of all thoughts, the composition of all thoughts. The second is buddhi, the intellect. The third one is memory. You have all those memories, deep-rooted memories. You have been a deer, so you have the deep-rooted memory of a deer. You have been a tiger previously, so you can see yourself as a tigress sometimes in the office. No? So the deep-rooted memories, we call them as samskaras, the impressions. All these are there in this Manomaya Kosha also. The fourth facet is Ahamkara, the sense of I-ness and mindness. So there are four facets, and all these four facets are inside this red layer, Manomaya Kosha. Okay. And then can you see the green layer around? This is called Vijnanamaya Kosha, the sheath of intellect. Now, this sheath is something very, very different from your mind. Why? Because we have two opposing nature entities within us. Like, have you been to the airport of Singapore airport? Have you seen the picture of a great mountain being churned by two sets of people? One side there are deities, and other side there are demons, and they are churning the mountain. So that this symbolic picture is there in Indonesia and Bali also, in Singapore also. So this is a famous scriptural story which says um, there was once an opportunity given to the deities and to the demons. that they can become immortal. So there is this beautiful nectar coming up, ambrosia coming up inside an ocean, and the ocean has to be churned with a mountain. So they churned the entire ocean with the mountain, with this churning activity. So one end there were demons, and on the other end there were deities. What will happen when demons become immortal? You'll know. So there is apocalypse completely on that very particular day. Judgment day is done. So hence the higher deities helped that the supernatural deities should be immortal, because they are good ones. They help people. They help humans. They help beings around. So the deities actually were given the immortality later on, and the poor demons were actually cheated by Lord Vishnu, the higher deity. So the moral of the story is, mind will be both demonic, devilish, and good, righteous. But intellect is the higher conscience which says this is wrong. Oh mind, this is wrong. Oh mind, you are right. You're thinking very good. You have to do it. This discriminating power that we have, the discerning power that we have, which says this is right and this is wrong, this is good and this is evil, that is present. That power is present in this green layer, Vijnanamaya Kosha. And the last layer is Anandamaya Kosha. As you see, it is around your body, but I keep on mentioning, it is not only around, it is within you also. Anandamaya Kosha is bliss, the blissful state that you have, Gently close your eyes, keep your head neck back erect. We'll do a small technique called Bastrika. Okay. Inhale deeply through your nostrils. Exhale forcefully through your nostrils. Use your abdomen to inhale, bulge your abdomen out. Exhale and shrink your abdomen in. Forcefully inhale, forcefully exhale, forcefully inhale, forcefully exhale. Will come with complete noises, forceful noises. Continue, 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 continue. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Noisy breathing, noisy breathe out, noisy breathe in, noisy breathe out, noisy breathe in, noisy breathe out. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale and exhale. Gently stop the practice. With a few blinks, open your eyes. What had happened? It was complete silence, right? Beautiful silence. Where was this silence all these minutes ago? It was there within you. This bliss was there within you. But you couldn't, identify yourself with it. Once when you stimulate the prana, focus within you yourself, there you can see it, as if you have lost something and then you have found it out. It is there already. So this blissful state is there within you. This is what Upanishad says. Now, why am I talking about this during management of cancer? Because according to yoga, the root cause of all disease is Adi. Adi is seed of stress. When modern medical science says no, we could not pinpoint that this is the cause of this cancer, this is cause of all carcinoma, melanoma, and all oracinoma, all nomas. They cannot pinpoint any cause, but yoga says, yes, I can pinpoint. Seed of stress is Adi, is the root cause of all disorders, even for cancer. And where does it arise? Can you see it? On the red layer, on the mind. Can we all live without stress? Do you think? Because this is rat, rat race going on, It's like if you do not pull a person down, you will not come up. This is what our tendency has become. We have become cannibals. Now, how much ever you could cut off yourself from such a Western, running like civilization. This is a massive, crazy run happening outside. So when you detach yourself from that crazy run race, then you can find that bliss within you. Find that bliss completely engulfing your life. Now, this is what we even teach cancer patients. We have different techniques called mind sound resonance technique, pranic energization technique in yoga, where we give these advanced meditational techniques along with asanas and pranayama, and then say, look, this is not your body. Your body is not you. Your body is undergoing changes, but you are there. Now, if you want yourself to be tough enough to endure all the radiations, endure all the side effects, endure all the carcinogenic changes, what you got to do? Just detach yourself from the body. Even the mind sound resonance technique, the entire moral of the technique is this, Advaita Vedanta. Even Ayurveda says, look, we can give you all the Ayurvedic herbs, we can give you abhyanga, the beautiful massage, we can give you nasya, oil over the neck, oil over the nose, we can give you shirodhara, the oil droplets over the forehead, it's all very relaxing. But Ayurveda says there is something called Naishtiki Chikitsa. You have to involve spiritual dimension also in this chikitsa, in the therapy. If you are not spiritually evolved, the therapy, the chikitsa cannot be fulfilling. So there are 4 dimensions in Ayurvedic chikitsa where it gives importance to Naishtiki Chikitsa, the spiritual dimension of therapeutic modality. Now coming back to yogic perspective, and I'll end with this. Now that you know what is the reason of Adi, what is the reason of cancer, where should I have to work? Adi is where I have to work. I cannot live without stress, but can I reduce it down? Can I reduce my speed? Adi is also called as speed in Yoga Vashishta, So he says, Vashishta says, reduce the speed. Reduce the speed of way you talk, way you walk, way you think. That's more important. We think more rapidly. So reduce the speed of thinking, reduce the speed of speech, reduce the speed of walk. Entirely get cut out of this running race, that is crazy running race happening outside. Then there are a few more things that I had to tell anyways. So there were more classification of diseases. I will find some time to explain certain things, but today being Cancer, so Cancer should be more, I should be more appropriate over Cancer. Patanjali says, look, Adi arises only because the mind, is completely dominative, dominating over intellect. The demons are more dominating than the deities, from the story. So what do you have to do? The deities have to be strengthened more. So Patanjali says, Chitta Prasadanam. Clarification or purification of mind is what? It's not just you are purifying your gastrointestinal system, but you have to purify your Manomaya Kosha. So he says 4 things that you have to follow. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita Upekshanam, Sukha Dukkha Punya Punya Vishayanam, Bhavanataha Chitta Prasadanam. What 4 things that we have to follow, along with all yogasanas, pranayama, MSRTs, advanced meditational techniques? Maitri. You have to be friendly with those people who are very lucky. Now, what happens when people are lucky? The next emotion that comes up from our heart is, how was that he alone is lucky? So if that emotion arises, Patanjali says, your mind is impure, Adi is ready to attack. So what you got to do? When people are lucky, you have to be a friend. How will the friend be? How will a friend react? Okay, let's party. Okay, you have earned a lottery ticket of 50,000 bucks. Let us party. So that is kind of friendliness, amicable nature that you have to hold when you find your friends, your relatives, your people around are luckier than you. Okay, the first thing. I hope I'm clear. Yeah, yeah, no.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. The second one is karuna, compassion. When should you be compassionate? When someone around you, some friend or one whom you know, or of your anyone of your family, or perhaps a person whom you dislike, okay? Anyone for that matter. If he or she is unlucky, if he or she is, you know, troublesome with some kind of poverty situations, some kind of ill health situation, any extreme situation he is in, what you got to be? You have to be compassionate. Rather, what do we do? Okay, we become vindictive. He did very wrong to me. He wronged me at that particular time. Now he is having his lesson. Karma is paying him back. Yes, of course, karma pays everyone back. Karma will pay you also. But it is not you who have to think like that. So thinking like that is an evil thought embedding. Okay, so be compassionate to those who suffer. If anyone is suffering, is troublesome, you have to be compassionate. Don't be partial that he is the person whom I know, he's the person I do not know, he's the person I like, he's the person I do not like. The third thing, Maitri and Karuna. The third thing is Mudita. When a person, anyone for that matter, is virtuous, he's very enjoying all the benefits. He's like extremely pleasant, at very higher stage in your profession. He might be your peer. uh, you might have, you and him, he might have just uh, took the journey on together, but he is doing well. What you have to be? You have to be cheerful for him. He says, Mudita, you have to be cheerful for him. When I told this, a student, she was just 20-year-old. So out of her immaturity, she was asking, "Ma'am, you are speaking so many things which are very impractical. This is not a human being. This is not how a human being thinks or emotes." She said, and hence we can see the entire world, has become the uh, uh, entire world hasn't become the capital of prosperity, but it had become the diabetic capital. Adi can strike anyone very easy who has an impure mind, who has a devilish mind. So Vijnanamaya Kosha, the intellect has to be strong. It is not that one particular thought is going to create any harm to that particular person, but it is harming you, your own. If you understand that, when I told it, if you understand that, Suleka, then you will understand that you will never, never ever be unaware of what thought you're holding. You'll always be vigilant, like a watchdog. Okay, is there any evil thought inside my mind? No. Then she said, yes, ma'am, you're right. When I know that I'm going to be hypothyroidic 20 years later, why will I hold this thought? She agreed to me then. So, cheerful, be cheerful to to those people who are virtuous, whom you know, whom you don't know, whom you like, whom you don't like, who had helped you, who had insulted you, whomever for that matter, whosoever for that matter. Okay. The fourth thing, Maitri over, Karuna, Mudita over, Upeksha. There are certain people who are always evil, evil in their doings, evil in their thinking, evil in their speech. How to behave with them, how to emote with them. No? He says, be indifferent, be indifferent. Just avoid, neglect, control, alt, delete. My mom, actually advises me, okay, be nice, be very good. That's how all Indian mothers are. So she was advising me. I said, don't worry, ma. Whomever troubles me, I know one method. And she asked me, what method? Control, alt, delete. I do that. I do that, that I don't see them only in my life. If at all I see them, I talk to them, I, I help them, but still they are not in my life because I've already, permanently evacuated them from my life. So that is what indifference is, completely neglect. You can't change people. Can you change you yourself? How many years I've taken? We cannot change myself, ourselves. How can you change others? So instead, what you can do, control all delete. That's more easy. Neglect and just avoid these people. Upeksha. So Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha. To keep your mind sane, to keep your Manomaya Kosha safe, pure, protect yourself from Adi, from the evil thoughts. So Adi is just not stress of profession, stress from family. It is just your repetitive, speedy thoughts. So come out of it and be happy. This is what yoga teaches, and this is how we teach cancer survivors also, cancer patients also. Thank you so very much. So we still have 5 more minutes. If you have any questions or any suggestions for the next satsanga, I'll take them. And then I think within 4 minutes we should close for park yoga. No questions? Any suggestions?
It is a little different. It was clear what you said, but it is a little difficult to separate the intellect from the mental. I know it's just words in my Romanian language. They seem very similar. I've struggled with understanding them for quite a while, but I cannot investigate it by myself.
It is not separating mind and intellect, but strengthening intellect and not making mind dominate your intellect.
Sometimes I make that happen. Sometimes I am.
Sometimes it may happen, and just to be aware, next time when you are aware, then it will not happen.
Only if I get in time to be more aware before I get mad or sad or tired or.
Yes. It so happens you will say whatever you want to say, you will do whatever you want to do, then you later repent, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. It's because of the speed.
Yeah.
The speed in the speech,
exactly.
the speed in the action. So what you got to do? Be aware. Oh, there is speed. Oh, there is speed. Oh my God, it is hitting 100 kilometers per hour. No.
How to actually do that in time, because I've been training my mind to speed like this for 25 years because of my job and the way, partly of the way I am.
Jalba.
How to actually make it?
Jalba, for 25 years you are struggling. I am struggling for 7 lives.
Oh, I'm still young then, okay. I think
Every
this is my
life,
first life.
every life is an opportunity. And every moment is an opportunity. Every moment is an opportunity for progressing ourselves in a better manner.
Should I be sad or mad? Should I be sad or mad when I fail to do so?
No.
Or should I just
Rather, Jalba, I'll give you a small suggestion. If you have that speedy speech problem, what you have to do, that before I speak, just close your eyes and chant 3 Omkaras. Om, Om, Om. Should I say? Will it work? And then say. Okay? Not like Om, Om, Om. That's again speedy speech. So speed is what you have to reduce. So speed is what you have to target upon. I hope that would work. I hope that would work.
So too. Thank you.
Okay, so time up. If at all there is any suggestion, please let Manish know. Manish can message me. Thank you so very much. You've been really very great audience. Not because I am before you, I'm telling you this. I'm very fortunate to interact with you. You people are making me more enlightened. I should say that. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you too.
Thank you very
Great
much.
day.
Thank you.